Kimi 3, the Moonshot or the Doomshot. Latest news last week, you might have noticed that Kimi 3 came out, new Chinese model that just landed, and according to early benchmarks, performs just as well as ChatGPT 5.5, Claude Fable 5. So some really powerful benchmarks coming out, especially around coding, where again, early testing is showing that it actually performs better at coding than Anthropic's Fable 5. It is not a huge difference, but it does perform better. You'll see in the news a lot of panic of like, what does this mean for the AI market in the US? There's a lot of, China versus the US and how all this goes. But we've seen this before, and let's take all that and set that aside from the government side of things of who's doing what, and let's look at the models and what this means going forward. So the interesting thing about Kimi 3 is the fact that they are going. It is open weight, so this will show up on the Hugging Face where you can download it and run it yourself. Um, do know it's a pretty hefty model. So it's 1.4 trillion points of data. So you're talking about running this on probably H200s, which are 141 gigabyte VRAM a piece. So you're talking about a six cluster node, probably running two of those. So anywhere from 25 to $50,000 a month to host this if you were to rent those GPUs out across the board. So even though you could host this yourself, economically speaking, probably not really viable at this point to do that. But let's talk about what it really means. And again, like I said, we've seen this before. We saw where you had kind of the AI wars and everybody was kind of doing their thing here in the US. And then DeepSeek came out and from Alibaba. And everybody looked at that and they were like, oh, this is the end, da da da. But honestly, what is it? It's competition. And in competition, it always breeds better competition. And when this happened with DeepSeek, what you saw was an accelerated pace on the power and the capabilities of what the AI models could do, coming from like Anthropic, coming from Meta, coming from Google, coming from OpenAI, across the board with Grok and SpaceX. The capabilities and the speed of what they were putting those models out just accelerated. I think you're going to see the same thing here. I think Kimi 3 was just another shot of competition. So you had these models in the US were like, here's what we can do. DeepSeek came out from China and Alibaba, and we were like, oh, okay, game on. Came out, and we built even better, faster, more powerful models. And then we kind of went a little dormant, and now you see Kimi 3 come out. And I think in the next 6 months, you're going to see that accelerated output from the US companies again on how powerful and how quickly they can roll out new models. So, yeah, interesting stuff. So far, Kimi 3 looks like a pretty powerful model out there. I do expect that this is going to kind of ignite a firestorm of models coming out in the US, where you'll start to see like the 5.1, the 5.2, 5.3 coming from Anthropic. Who knows? Maybe by the time we get to January, we'll see Chat GPT 6. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. But I take it for what it's worth. We've seen it before with DeepSeek. I expect over the next 6 months, we'll see a response on the US side and more powerful models that come out.